Lao Jin speaks to you at that moment. You're tiptoeing toward it, and he
Yeah,
tries to tap you on the shoulder. You're gonna stop.
I'll stop
Okay.
and sigh
Um,
and just say, "What is it, Sifu?"
he speaks to you, what maybe like he's trying to impart wisdom to you. He says this: when great warriors leave this realm, I believe they enter a more beautiful, more peaceful place. But they leave behind their earthly spirits inside their sacred artifacts. The ancestral spirits. He's basically trying to teach you about things about ancestral spirits and how they leave. I don't know if you know these things or your character would know these things, but he's
She might,
basically trying to. Yeah.
she might, but yeah, no, but it's always possible that she might not have remembered. But yeah, no, she made it by three, so she just sort of she nods respectfully because he is the
Mm-hmm.
older, so even if she is
And
the
so she's
warrior.
so he's like trying to speak to you as you're being quiet. Of course,
Yeah.
the ancestral spirits must be called to earth, but they have to take on the body of a willing host. Um, he says, but on the converse, you must convince whichever chosen one of this clan, of the Zhao clan, you must convince them to leave, to accept the fate of being the chosen one. And and he basically goes on to explain, are you prepared to convince someone to leave this plane before their time?
I have talked to
They
people
can.
down. I have talked to people down who were planning to kill themselves, or those who were addicted to drugs, and others that were pursuing lives of crime or sedition. I am. I think. I think I can do this, unless you have any suggestions, Sifu.
He says, my only comment would be to allow them to arrange their affairs. They must not take long, but once the ceremony is performed, there is no time. If you speak to a chosen one for the Zhao clan, and they accept their fate to leave this plane, give them give them some time uh, to make their things straight. They are not prepared to leave this time now. They must all assume that they have many years at the ends of their life. Um, and he says, God forbid it, or the ancestors forbid it, that this one
God,
that you
probably the
approach now,
gods, but yeah.
the gods forbid it, that the one you seek now is only a child. How pitiful it must be to attempt to convince. Um, and he pauses and he takes a deep breath. Maybe even he twirls his long mustache or something.
Nice.
He
That would
says,
be that would be very tragic, but these are very desperate times.
oh, one other thing. Um, you will notice the chosen ones by the light of the path. And he speaks this phrase. It's a common phrase. Um, the light of the path is like, like the angels, where you see the light descending from the heavens. And he says, you will notice the chosen ones by the light of the path provided by the ancestors. I will not see it. Only you will, as a chosen one yourself. You can see the light of the path in the others who've been chosen.
Yes, I think I already do see a light.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's the best wisdom that he can give to
All right. Then I will follow the light.
you. Won't look into the light.
Don't go towards the light.
Yep.
Okay, so you make your
Uh,
way down the hallway, and Lo Jin, he tries to come with you. You're not going to prevent him from coming with, right?
no. No, I'm not.
Okay. Totally abandoned building. You made your perception roll. There's no other noises. The only thing you hear is maybe some shuffling down at the end of the hall where the light is.
All right. Well, I'll check down the shuffling of the hall. Perhaps there is something there that remains.
So you make your way down the hallway, and there's several rooms to the left and the right. It's almost like this used to have been a place where many people lived, maybe even a facility where people were trained. It's abandoned, and There is at the end of the hallway a door where behind the slats of the door you can see the light creaking through. And you clearly hear a person in the room. It's like they're breathing and shuffling, maybe even the sound of pages turning.
All right. In that case, then I am going to. I'll knock on. I will. I'll sigh and just. I'll sigh subtly, go up to it, and knock on the door.
Okay. As you knock on the door, all the noises are stopped, silent. It's like they're trying not to be. Well, I don't even know what they're trying, but they are frozen in silence.
Okay.
And there's no response.
Then I will open the door.
Hmm.
Well, open the door because it could be could be the surviving clan leader. It also could be someone with less friendly intentions.
Yeah. So when you open the door, do you open it like a burst it open? Do you open it slowly? What do you do?
I'll burst it open.
Yeah.
He's on the
Yeah.
other.
So you burst open the door, and there is a bewildered youngster at surrounded by books, um, tomes of books, and who knows how long they've been in this room. Um, and clearly the light of the path rests upon them. Um, and they, maybe they've got some like half-eaten sandwiches and some foods and things around them, but you can clearly see that they are entrenched in the books and the tomes that are around them. And they are not surprised, but they're definitely bewildered as you burst into the door.
Nice. How old are they? And a boy or a girl?
Maybe they're 10 years old. It's a little boy.
Okay, 10-year-old boy.
A new sacrifice.
Nice. Yep.
Oh,
All right. I will
the
just
next
say.
chosen one.
Yep. I will say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being rude, but I was concerned that there were agents of Doctor Yin Wu or someone else that had desecrated this estate.
Mm. The little boy, he says, "Oh, Dr. Wu, he is the one who has destroyed this place." His lips curl and very angry at the mention of Dr. Wu. Credits him with destroying this facility.
Ah, I am terribly sorry. When was this done?
Oh, and he says, "Oh, as I've been reading, I see that Dr. Wu has long since destroyed my ancestral village many, many moons ago." And he mentions maybe 10 to 20 years ago. It's been long abandoned.
Okay. Well, it's very tragic. Are there any other? I take it you are of the Zukan.
Oh, yes, the zoo, my family. And he goes on to mention that he had dreams of this place, and he has been coming here um, to learn. And his parents think that he's in his school, in his educations, but he has been skipping away to come here and learn about the ancestral line and what it means and everything. He's been having visions that have drawn him to this building, but he doesn't fully understand. You can tell even as he speaks, he doesn't understand that he's the chosen one for his clan.
Nice. She says, "I was like you once. I was drawn by visions to. I was drawn by visions to a great temple in the mountains, where the rivers met. And then I was taken there, and a ritual was performed on me that turned me into this. I am called Dragon Lady. I do not know if you have heard of me, but I have traveled throughout China to protect the innocent. My job has grown much harder with both Doctor Yin Wu and Doctor Destroyer on the rampage
Hmm.
and ruling over our world."
He says, "Oh, Dragon, yeah, I've heard of your honor." Um, he asks you for your surname. He says, "Dragon Lady, what is your surname? What is your clan?"
He smiles at him and kind of takes off her mask and says, my name is Wong, Betty Wong. I was born in Hong Kong, so my parents gave me an English name.
So this little child, right, has this big grin on his face, and he takes one of the Zupus, the books, the big tomes, and he turns it around and he points his finger and he says, "You are here. Your name is written in one of the Zupus. Someone has updated the registry, and your name is there."
It is.
Yep.
It is well. What does this? What does this Zupu tell?
It just tells the lineage, and it has your name, and it has your family's name, and your family's name above it, and it's just all the genealogies of the Wong clan and where you fit. It's basically like a long story of your clan's genealogy.
Thank you. This I know very little. Just that about my as far back as my great grandparents, but we know nothing beyond that. Thank you. This is a wonderful find. Um, I am in your debt, young man.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of the Ellis Island record all the way back, right? Not even that, like
Yeah.
because these
Oh,
Zupus are like thousands of years back, what they can trace, which is just impressive. Very
wow.
cool.
Nice. Yep. Um, yeah. So she's definitely in awe of it and kind of reads through it.
Mm.
And she says, "So tell me, young man, are there any others of your clan that 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 have survived?"
Uh, he has searched the Zupu for his clan, um, but his limited resources, he hasn't been able to seek out many others, um, beyond his own immediate family. He's even frowned, like he's sad that he knows there's a responsibility, but he can't. He's 10 years old.
Yes, I know what. Yes, I know what responsibility is. It's when you are given an assignment which you must fulfill, even if you don't always understand it, and it does not always come immediate. Sometimes it takes much time, and much of the time it requires great sacrifice. Come, I will
Mm.
come. I will come. I'd like you to meet my Sufu, Lao Jen.
Hmm.
He is a great scholar. Perhaps he can tell you more about some of the things you wish to know.
Mm. Yeah, he stands up from the behind the kind of the surrounding of books that he has, and he kind of walks around and he looks, maybe stands between you both, and he looks at Lao Jin. Master Jin, please tell me more. Tell me more of why I see the visions that I see. Why am I drawn to this place? No, Master Lao Jin. I was like expecting you to roleplay Master Lao Jin. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
sure, sure.
sure, let me do that. He explains to young Sar Zhao, is what his name,
But
CSAR, Sar Zhao is his name. A very uncommon name.
yeah,
Um, but he explains to him what it means to be a chosen one. Uh, and he doesn't go quite as far to explain that his life will be given toward his clan, but he does speak the honor of sacrifice, and you know, and I'm sure you're more aware of it than most, that the communal, like the family, the community, the clan is supreme, and to be the one that is the chosen one, um, is a high honor, but it's also the sole purpose of your life. Uh, and he's explaining it to him, and little Sar Zhao, um, at some point in time, his face grows grim, but he also is very stern resolve, and he says, um, um, uh, I am the chosen one for my clan.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes,
yeah,
you are.
yeah.
Yes, you are, Sarzal.
You can see him be proud, but he also looks down.
Yes, it is something that you should be proud, but unfortunately, it does require great responsibility, especially in times of trouble such as now. Recently, at least recently, um, there was great damage done to the spirit world, and there are many broken spirits now. Um, a ritual was used by the Wu clan to try to summon forth an ancestor powerful enough to battle Doctor Destroyer. Unfortunately, in their in their pride and arrogance, it brought about great harm to many, and much was destroyed. I have been tasked by the dragon spirit of the Yangtao Temple to restore the spirit world, and so I must go to the various clans and to persuade the chosen of the clans that they must go to the spirit world to repair what was broken. Unfortunately, it means that they must leave the world of the flesh.
Hmm. The young boy, he looks even maybe visibly scared. Um,
She, she puts her arm around his shoulders and kind of bends on down and looks him in the eye and says, I understand that it is very terrifying, but you need to think not of what will happen to yourself, but what will happen to others what will happen to others if you do not do what needs to be done. Dr.
hmm.
Yin Wu continues to terrorize these lands, and I fear that his power will grow unstoppable. Not to mention that of Doctor Destroyer, if the spirit world is not repaired.
Restored.
Um, yeah, if it is not restored.
Hmm.
Um,
Um,
however, I do understand what you are sacrificing. I know that it is not just me that asks you this, but also that of your fallen clansmen, and the ancestors that came before you. And, um, and don't worry, don't worry. If there is anything that you would like to do and take care of before that, I will be more than happy to help to assist you, as I have
yeah.
as I have a responsibility as well.
So this young child is shaking with fear and even weeping and crying. He looks up to you and he says, uh, "It is my responsibility and my honor to accept this fate. My only ask is that we tell that we uh, the ceremony proceeds in the presence of my parents. Is
Of
that
course,
possible?"
yes, yes,
So
yes, I understand, and she gives him a hug.
yeah,
Her
little tight.
her kind of feminine instincts, kick over her, desire to be the stoic warrior.
Okay, so I assume
And
he's still sleeping.
she's like, oh, you are brave. You are. I'm sure all the ancestors, all your loved ones, all your lost family members are looking down from the heavens,
Mm.
from the afterlife, and their faces are beaming with pride at what you are willing to do.
So this obviously is a like a comic book panel where you bring the boy to his parents, and they you go to the enormous apartment and you travel up to the apartment and you have the conversation, and the parents are extraordinarily sad. But the boy, even, maybe with even the light of the path extending to the parents, he puts his hands on them, and they are wrapped in the light of the path, and they have this maybe knowing calm. They understand that, and maybe even they say that to you in this devastating of moment. We realize the the plan that our Tsar, young Tsar, plays, and that we will see our young Tsar in every time we come to the temple, in every moment of our prayers, and even in our own passing, we will be reunited with our young Tsar, the chosen one of the Zhao clan. And so maybe we'll travel back to the Zhao temple,
Yes.
to perform this ceremony, and the Lao Jin asks, "Is there an artifact? Is there a meaningful object that's appropriate uh, for young Tsar to enter into?" And the family bring a it's like a vase or vase,
An urn.
where they have other flowers that he has
Made
always
out of made out
appreciated.
of jade, of course, jade or gold.
Yes, there you go, there you go. And so you come to back to the facility that's abandoned, and in this kind of the sacred space at the end of that opening area. Um, and we can play this out however you would want. If you want to have, do you have any? Did you buy a skill that is related to the knowledge of the ancestrals or anything like that? I think you did.
Indeed, I did buy, yeah, knowledge Yangtao magic, knowledge skill Yangtao temple, and I have Chinese arcane and occult lore.
Okay, maybe you'll have a complimentary roll and then the regular roll. Make it a complimentary roll first, whichever one you want to choose, and then let's see if you can do justice to the ancestral uh, kind of ceremony.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll do the Chinese arcane and occult lore as a compliment first.
Oh, you
But
get it.
unfortunately, I did not make it. But let's try the Yangtao magic roll. Ah,
No. Oh gosh.
yeah. Unfortunately, I am very rusty at this.
Oh, so maybe you're speaking parts of it, and oh, what a heartbreaking. So you're speaking parts of it, and maybe there's like the child
Can
in
I
the family.
add
Say
in
again.
Sure.
here?
Sure.
Oh, of course.
So you're in the process and you're stumbling over the words, and then the boy's father steps forward and you stumble over another couple words, and then he um, speaks into the conversation,
Nice.
and he fills in the missing parts from the Zhao tradition that he knew.
Oh, oh, it's interesting. So as you do it, then
And I got a 14.
uh,
I got a succeeded by 7.
Nice.
I'm not going to challenge what skill you rolled to get it. I don't know how, but I think it's wonderful for the story. So the father steps in, and because of the kind of brokenness of the ceremony, the boy, his light disintegrates,
Ooh.
and there's a bright light that fills the room, and the light then just enraptures the whole room. It passes through you all, and you have all the memories of this young 10-year-old boy now with you, because his light has passed through you. So you know all the sweet and generous and things that he's done, why he certainly was the chosen one for the Zhaos. And then all of that light then pulls in and then just embeds into this jade vase. But because of your stumbling through it, the jade vase cracks down the middle. um, but Lao Jin picks it up and he says, "Oh, the most beautiful of the creations has the representations of our imperfections." He says, "This young child, this young Zhao, has restored the ancestral claim, um, and um, and there it is, this glowing light inside the jade vase though it is cracked and fractured. Uh, and Lao Jin says, and he looks to you, Dragon Lady, where must we keep these artifacts?
Hmm. We need to take them to a. We need to bring them to a secure place. Probably the best place would be to take them to. Probably the best
Millennium
place would
City.
be either the
Where?
Either the Yangtao Temple itself, or we will take them back to the take them back to the Bastion base over in America.
So before you leave it, so you say maybe the Yangtao Temple, as you say that, the family's eyes light up, but they say before you leave, can we stay? Can we hold our young Tsar for just a few more moments before you take the bus?
Of course, I'm terribly sorry. This is the first time I performed it. I'm a little nervous and rusty at these sorts of things. And
They do
and
the
of course, she bows, kneels and bows to the father, and presents it to him.
okay. They take it and they give you the polite nod. They are not upset. And the words of Lao Jin, even in the father considered a pride moment to be able to complete the final portion of the ceremony. And Lao has confirmed that it is complete. They hold it for a few moments and they weep and they cry, and then they hand it back to you after a few moments, um, and they back away.
And of course, I bow to them, and I just say, I am in your debt in so many ways. If you are ever beset by trouble, I will be there.
Oh wow, the ultimate promise to the Sarzao family. That's great. Okay, that's the storyline I have prepared. I hope you enjoyed the, the little bit of history of the clans and everything.
Oh yeah, I sure
Um,
did.
so one thing that Lao Jin asks you, as they walk away and you are maybe walking back to his flat in Tenjin, he says, uh, "What a difficult decision it must be uh, to accept the assignment of the chosen. If the others are chosen now to leave this plane of existence so as to help the ancestral plane, must you, Dragon Lady, also choose that fate when your mission is complete?"
Ooh.
Whatever is
We can leave
required.
it for there.
Okay, well, she says, whatever is required of me will be done.
Because you're a chosen one as well, right? You
Yep.
became a chosen one for your own. It's interesting. I
However,
love it.
though, there is one last affair that I must put in order, and that is the avenging of the death of my partner and my
Mm,
partner and lover, and Dr. Yinwu will pay for that and all of his crimes that he has done against my country and my people.
mm, Luajin doesn't argue with you one bit. Um, and he even says, to each of these, the affairs that must get in order will be different. It is a blessing to us that this young one had no obligations, and his family was willing to honor the request of the ancestral spirit. Of course, it will come one day where the chosen one is not so willing. Okay, we'll leave it there.
Nice.
It was wonderful, wonderful, and I appreciate the role play. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Oh no, thank you for running, Jason. I enjoyed your research.
I think it's the most fun part for me about the whole thing is just learning about the whole ancestral port. And the best part about your storyline is so much of this is real.
Right.
Like I'm not making up stuff. Like ancestral spirits with clan lineages and Zupus and the whole thing is just straight up real. All the clan names and their meanings are all real. I didn't come up with anything. I just researched it.
Nice. So it's ZUPU.
Yeah, ZUPU.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, which is the kind of the whole updating of a Zupu, and the actual existence of those tomes in a very few. Like the whole concept that Lao Jin is one of the private owners of the booth that is real. There's a handful of people that have some of these. Like, just cool. Just really cool.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so we will go now to America.
Dum dum
Ready
dum
for this,
dum.
America? Life changing. We just committed Kurt to abandoning his character into the spirit realm at some point. So I'm kidding. You don't have to be.
He just doesn't know it's going to be next week.
Right.
Well, but he's got all these ancestral spirits to reclaim. So I mean, you could spend the whole rest of the character. But that's what overwhelming story arc from. Okay, so let me get to yours.
If it's
All right.
any help, I've called up OBS and I think I'm recording this session. Now, I missed probably
Oh,
the first 15 minutes of it, but if it works, I'll post that up for you. So it'll just be
yeah.
audio, but then anything from the recorded end um, that Kurt needs to remember could be there for him.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, fantastic. There's a lot of rich stuff there too. That I have a lot of it written in text, just from the things that Lao Jin and the family's book. I'll share that with you if you even need it. You may not need it. Okay, the last place that we left off with Cypher was the Lost in Cyberspace story arc, and there's been this long conversation that's been happening with Cypher and Algorithm, who is kind of Cypher's arch nemesis,
Dum
who
dum dum
joined up
dum.
in the storyline early on in the campaign, and it's just been a constant thread. He's tried to foible different things, and um, but when Cypher logged in or kind of plugged into the Cerebrus, how do you say it? Cypher?
Cerebsus.
Cer- Cerebsus, sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
Instead, the X-Men have Cerebro, and mine is Cerebsus.
so the first time you plugged into it, and it expands your cybermancy, right? Like your ability to scan and communicate. It extends your abilities.
Yes.
Um, and of course, the first time you plug into it, algorithm is in it and or hears you or whatever. He's not in Cerebsus, but he kind of like
Ooh,
starts.
what's this new ability you have now?
Yeah, yeah,
What can
yeah.
I steal from you next?
Well, so this long conversation between you and him has happened, and throughout the conversation, he's referring to your Lindsay very derogatory, um, and he even refers to Lindsay once as dead. The
Yes.
people who killed your pet, the ones who killed your pet, and the last bit of conversation before he leaves, he drops Lindsay on the ground, um, seemingly powered down. And this is in the ground outside of that area in the countryside where you last tracked Lindsay to.
Okay.
And you can sense Lindsay is powered down and you can't communicate with him. But I will ask you to make a perception roll since you are um, um, in this Cerebsis.
Okie dokie.
Let's see if you can perceive anything in that area of the countryside.
Now I have to go to the. Where'd it go? Where'd the roll
Do you
thing
get
go?
do you hear it? Roll here dice. Oh,
Yep.
you were in it.
Yep. But
Do you get any bonuses because of Cerebsis for perception rolls, or is it just extending it?
um I don't know that it adds to my actual perception roll. It adds to my ability to find what I'm looking for. But I don't think it actually helps my perception roll. Because if it did, it would be like plus 80 to the roll,
Okay,
or plus
so then
30 or something like that.
so before you make a perception roll, then I'll just ask: do you want to go to the countryside where Lindsay has been dropped onto the ground?
Yes.
Okay, so you physically go there, um, and just like in any other um, of our games, do you want to try to? Well, there's nobody else on the line. Maybe Lysen would go with you. Um, um, but anyone
What?
else that you would
What? No
want to
hot
bring?
shot?
Oh yeah, yeah. And then if you want to bring the hot shot or Kurt with you as you go out to investigate where Lindsay is, you're welcome to bring them. That'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
All these storylines happen different times too, so I mean they could participate.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you just teleport back from China, and
Right,
come
right.
here for the important things. Finding Lindsay, the important things.
Yes,
Who cares
Oh
about the
yeah, yeah.
ancestors? Jeez, what's wrong with you?
yes, yes.
Time is fuzzy. We can do whatever we want to do.
Indeed.
Okay, so
How
to
about you, Brian? Are
follow
you
up.
game, or
I'm still here. What's going on?
we're talking about you,
Yeah,
not to
so
you?
Oh, well, that's good.
Uh, um, so at the new champions base, um, a call goes out to any team members who are within the vicinity. I'm going to investigate something that potentially involves the villain algorithm. Would anybody care to come along with me?
I do not know of this villain, but as you assisted me in the battles against Doctor Destroyer, I shall assist you. I only ask that as I as I battle Lao Jin, as I battle Yin Wu, and seek to restore the ancestral spirits, that you lend your assistance as well when you can.
Turnabout is fair play. I agree with you.
Very good.
Anybody else responding?
Yeah, I'm in with
Yeah.
what he said, but in English.
okay,
Well,
From
well,
what she said, I guess.
technically, she was speaking in English. And she even had a good accent.
Thank you.
okay.
So
So
Oh, we getting there.
meet me in Ready Room One. I have no idea where that
Nice.
is. I'll grab a big number one and I'll put it on the door.
Big
and I
ready
think
one.
you all there's I mean you would know where the countryside area was just because you were connected to that area. Um, and you had tracked the van going out to that area. So,
Correct.
Shirley Lizen has a vehicle because she's uber wealthy. I don't know if any of the other folks have vehicles they could get out there, but I'm willing to hand wave it. Y'all are able to take a vehicle because I don't think any of y'all have fast transportation otherwise.
I do have teleport, but it's not mega scale.
And this is out in the countryside in the boondocks too. So,
I could take us all there very, very quickly because I do have cyber travel, extra dimensional movement through cyberspace.
but what
But
cyber?
then we
How,
would be in cyberspace, not in that location.
yeah, I don't know if that's. I
That's
don't think
probably not going to
Lizen.
help.
I don't think Lizen's up for that.
Yeah. Meat body. Character's body remains in the real world. Damage to virtual or actual body can hurt or kill.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know if that serves your purpose.
Yeah,
Not for this one.
not much at all.
Okay, so let's say y'all take license one of her vehicles out there, road trip, um,
Road trip.
and go out to the countryside, and you get to the spot where um, Lindsay was last visible, and you see Lindsay powered down on the ground.
Okay. So I will hop out of the vehicle and with seeming abandon, I will go running towards where Lindsay fell and scoop him up.
All right, I will follow, but I am definitely keeping my eye out in case there is anyone that's watching us or anything that's watching us.
On how long would the trip have taken for us to get there? Like an hour, less than that, or
Yeah, probably 45 minutes.
okay. So I would have given them a rundown of algorithm and some of the pull up some of the logs from when the team has fought against him before. He's a cybernetic. He used to be human at one point in time, but he's a cybernetic construct, and has taken over the body of Mechanon. Does anybody know who Mechanon is? I look,
Mm.
I look back and forth at them, and I say, technically, he's my Mechanon is my father.
How is he your father? You are not machine.
Well, it's a long story, but we have some time, so here's my story, and I'll give you the abridged version because I don't have it readily available here. My mother was a reporter covering a battle between the robotic villain Mechanon and the champions. And Mechanon was losing to the champions, and as he usually does, he tries to create some type of backup so that he can come back again. And the champions involved, one of them was the witch girl. Um,
Carl,
Witchcraft,
Witchcraft.
Solitaire.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's had so many different names. I don't really.
Yes.
Um, and between her and Defender and the big the big alien guy, ironclad.
Ironclad.
Yeah, iron. Yeah,
Ironclad. Yeah.
yeah. So they fought, and they knocked the robot down to a certain point, and then it sent out a pulse that went to my mother. And the pulse was like a nanite swarm type thing, sort of similar to what Sandcrab does. And Solitaire, Witchcraft, suspected that something was going on, but the pulse, the nanites, were absorbed into my mother's bloodstream, and then Solitaire. I keep calling her Solitaire. Witchcraft put a spell of protection on my mother. So the story, as far as I know it, is that um, when I was conceived, the nanites from Mechanon tried to take over me, and the spell from witchcraft protected, but unknown to either of those entities, my mother was a mutant, and her mutated DNA grabbed hold of the spell and the nanites and stopped them from fighting and integrated them into me. So when I first was in, with all we've kind of grown up with these challenges and whatnot about Destroyer. When my powers first manifested, the place where I was working had scanners, and the scanners would be detecting for superpowers. And totally unknown to me, I didn't learn this until after the fact, is that my Mechanon side would reach out to these computer things and turn them off as I was walking through the scanner, and then turn them back on again after I'd been through the scanner, so that I was never detected as a mutant
Hmm.
in my growing up phase. So that's a little bit of my backstory for you.
That's awesome.
Fascinating, yet tragic in a way. But it is good that you were able to overcome the curse that was put upon you.
Indeed, indeed.
Does Cypher consider that a curse, or does he consider it a?
A blessing?
Yeah, what does he consider it?
Um, it is what it is. It hasn't. It hasn't. It's given him his abilities, and so he considers it a gift. If he had grown up as a mutant, he might not consider that so much a gift. But the way that his power works, it has automatically turned off machines trying to scan who he is. So he doesn't register as a mutant, although technically he probably is one because he was born with these powers.
Okay. Okay. Um, so you all had that conversation on the way there, right? So you all definitely know more about Cypher and algorithm and what algorithm is and kind of this devastating foe that he is now. Um, you get there, and algorithm is not anywhere to be found.
Yay!
Um, and it's the countryside, right? Um, so maybe perception rolls from everybody.
Sure.
It will also. I will use. Well, is it day, night,
It's
sunset,
daytime.
sunrise, daytime? Okay.
Daytime.
I
I'll
am
use night vision,
I
and
am
I'll just
hot today.
nice. I'll use my detect magic. I'll use my detect magic as well to see if there is any magical presence that we might have to worry about.
Okay. And tell me how much you made your rolls by, if you don't mind, let me know.
I made it by 7.
On the dot.
Yeah, I got rolled a 12 and I needed a 12.
Okay. So, particularly with Cypher's roll, as you get there, you see, and you got Lindsay already, right? So no
Yes.
worries. You picked Lindsay up, and for all practical purposes, Lindsay is dead.
Okay. I have a power called machine repair.
I wondered if you did. I was hoping you might have some way to
Yeah. It's a
make right.
healing body 4 die 6.
Can it resurrect though?
Uh, well, technically, I didn't. It's only versus machines. I don't know. That would have to be your call.
No, but did you buy the resurrection adder for it?
No, because I didn't think I would ever have to resurrect a machine.
Sorry to pull that one on you like that. Uh, and I've promised that I would never kill a person's character, but if I'm crossing a line for you, and I've killed your Lindsay, and you don't like it, then if you want to put XP points into resurrection for that power and bring her back, that's totally up to
I have 36 unspent experience points, so I could easily
you. Yeah,
put
maybe
that in
you
there.
do that. Yeah, maybe that you do
Sure.
it. Okay, but for now, we have the death of Lindsay. How does
Sacrilege.
so that before we get into any of that, how does Cypher feel at one of his? Is Lindsay one of the first ones after Stevie, or no?
Yes, yes. Lindsay,
So what
John, and
is
Christine were my second. Stevie was the first, and then I created these after.
how does Cypher feel with the loss of Lindsay?
He's not happy at all. He's
Oh,
despondent.
oh. So everyone would notice that you're out in the field, but of course you're. It's very much a Valhalla moment. Or what is it in the game where not the game where in the movie where he walks his hands through the grain fields.
Okay.
um, yeah, you're in that kind of grain fields out there. But as you're walking through the grain fields, you see with your perception roll a rippling, a slight ripple is forming in the place where Lindsay was lost. It's like you see like disturbance in the force, right? That
It's a,
that kind of the
your lack of Your lack of I find your lack of faith disturbing. Yes.
Yeah, but you knew when Lindsay was in the pocket of the folks, um, they were driving in a van, and then all of a sudden they disappeared, and Lindsay was off, lost in cyberspace.
Correct. Is there
This
any
is always
signs
what
of
you assume.
trauma on Lindsay?
No, no.
So it's just like he's been deactivated, really.
Yeah, whatever sentience or whatever logic or power or whatever, it's all gone.
Okay. Um, I'm in the midst of mourning, and I stand up and angrily point at the rippling field,
Hmm.
and I say to the other two, "Something's coming right there!" And I lift up from the air around me, a rifle type weapon forms,
Oh,
and
right.
I've got my I have a weapon all of a sudden which I didn't have moments ago.
All right,
Oh well,
and
that's awesome.
Dragon Lady goes into a fighting stance. Goes into a well. Just as she's about to go into a fighting stance, she kind of twirls her hands and starts, and her eyes start glowing green, and she says, in Chinese, "Dragon's power flow to me." And yeah, she glows. She glows with orangish energy, which sort of remind you of like, I mean, not an orangish, greenish energy that reminds you of fire. And then it's kind of glowing around her, and then she gets into a fighting stance.
The hotshot kind of cocks her head and looks at Dragon Lady and says, "That's hot." And then I run. I totally run off behind the car, the vehicle, and use the hood as a leveler for my rifle,
A brace.
so that I'm hidden as much as I can behind whatever car that we stole from Lizen.
So this matters a lot where you all are positioned. You hotshot are behind the van or behind the kind of the vehicle. It's like a nondescript car. Nothing fancy about it. Cypher and Dragon Lady, are you all like right up on it? You away from it? Are you whatever? Where are you in position to the little rippling field?
I am very close to the rippling field, um,
Of course you are.
and I would probably have Peter beside me as well,
Okay.
and then
Uh,
I would have the other Christine and um, John circling out around the side, so I have a fuller view of the area.
All right,
okay, so
and
you and one of them are right up on it. The others are positioned away. Which one of them is up on it with you? Peter? Or
Yeah, Peter's up with me, and then say uh, 20 meters on either side are Christine and John.
and are your activated powers and protections from Peter on?
On, yes.
Okay,
Well,
I figured
I
that.
would activate them on when as I'm drawing
Yeah.
up my gun.
Okay, cool. And Dragon Lady, where are you positioned at?
I'm basically I'm at Cypher's side, and yeah, and at his side in the fighting stance.
Oh, and this is interesting because you met Cypher first in the first battle at the warehouse in the gas explosion. So
Yes.
you saw this, and even the powers of Peter, because I think Peter has like protective powers, right?
Yes, and so
So you're standing in that protective field. Nice.
I will tell Lady to stay within 5 meters of Peter. He will increase your defensive capabilities both to being hit and to damage.
Very good. I will. Very good. But I am here to. But I am here to guard you as well.
So this rippling is happening. and it's maybe like 10 seconds that the rippling is happening, and it becomes more pronounced, and then all of a sudden, out of the rippling, um, a van shoots out of it, going, probably 60 miles an hour, straight through that field, um, through that rippling opening, and just, I'll give you a dexterity roll since y'all are waiting for it. But a straight dexterity roll is to be able to hop out of the way if you want to hop out of the way. If you don't, then you're just going to get plowed through by a van going 60 miles an hour.
This is
Dragon Lady's going to try kind of an acrobatic flip on top of the. She's going to try an acrobatic flip on top of the van and then try to cling to it. There
I'm
you
not
guys get
seeing
that?
the dice. I'm not seeing the dice rolls yet.
Oh, okay.
so make
Let's
your
see.
acrobatics roll on the dice roll there. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa, nice.
What about, yeah, what about you, Cypher?
I'm trying to determine how angry he is as to whether he would even try to step out of the way.
Oh gosh, Brian, you
He
won't have to. You're far enough away that you don't have to try to get out of the way.
he has a deactivate dispel electrical devices. I could unpower this vehicle so that it's kind of just rolling around. I mean, it would still be coming towards us, but it would have no more.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to stop its momentum. So
No.
if you want to do that, you can, but you're still going to get plowed through by it unless you get out of the way of it first.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. No. No.
you
I
could
do.
stop, or yeah,
Yeah. I'm just kind of looking at his powers and trying to figure out
you're that
what he
you're
would
that
do.
mad.
I'm that mad. Yes.
It's awesome. You're about to just face down a barreling van. I kind of want to see what the protective barrier that you've got, what it would do. Like, do you stop it? Does it bounce off of you or what? Like, oh,
So it's not a barrier from Peter. Peter gives physical damage reduction 50% and plus 8 DCV.
okay. So it's gonna hit the hex. So I don't think it's gonna, like, it's gonna plow through you,
Yeah.
uh, unless you do a die for cover. But it doesn't sound like you want to. So you're just basically relying on the damage reduction. Um, that'd be. I mean, if you want to play it through, let's see what happens. It's not my character, so.
Can I make that an extra roll to see if I pull off, my flip and cling to the van?
Oh, I thought that was your eight.
Oh, that was
succeed.
okay.
And with
Thank
that,
you. Thanks for
yeah,
giving it to
with
me.
that succeeded roll, yeah, I think the storytelling of that is cool. Like you do this whole, martial artist flip around, and are on top of the van now. Maybe
Right.
even roll a stealth to see if you can land without being audibly heard.
Okay, I made it by one.
Well, that's so awesome. So you jump on the top of the van, and it's like you're not even there.
Nice.
um, I do have teleport. So can
So
I
you could have
teleport out of
rolled.
the way?
Yeah, feels like a letdown, Cypher. Honestly, I was waiting for you to get barreled through this thing.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're gonna abort to teleport away, and that's totally cool. And can Peter do that too, or is Peter gonna be a sacrifice in this?
I can carry Peter with me. So
In your teleport extra weight?
yeah.
Okay. So I'll just say that if that's what you want to do, you teleport out. Where are you gonna teleport to?
Just like a few meters to the side. So it's sort of like
Okay.
they come careening out of this portal and they see us standing right there, and then all of a sudden they see the after effect as I disintegrate in front of them and reappear just a few meters to the side.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna play this out, and a hot shot. As this thing comes out, you don't have to get out of the way. and I think you were leveling to brace. Are you going to do anything now that this van has burst through the portal?
I'll hold my fire because the Dragon Lady is up on the top of it now, and it's barreling down at Cypher. And I probably won't even say anything, but if it keeps going past, if they don't take it out, I'm gonna shoot its tires.
Okay. So, um, Cypher teleports out of the way. Dragon Lady jumps on top of the van, and Hotshot is kind of holding and keeping aim on the thing, preparing to shoot the tires off. So, the drivers of the van see Cypher's kind of teleporting out, and of course that's like the split second they portal out. They see him teleport away, and it takes them maybe they get 10 seconds down the road, 5 seconds down the road, the dirt road, when all of a sudden you see them slam on the brakes and the van stops, and there's just dust from the dirt road stirred up and everything. um, they're sitting inside the van and they're talking to one another. um, do you any of you all have the ability to perceive at a distance? And I
I
know
I do.
you might yeah, but your creatures aren't with them right now, right? Like if you had one of your bots in the van or near them, you'd be able to. Or do you have something else that allows you to hear from a distance like that?
No,
Okay.
unless there's a machine in their vehicle that I can listen through because I have camera
Oh, they've got
vision.
like they have a radio in the van. That's it. I mean,
Okay, so I would be able
but it
to.
doesn't. But that doesn't hear. I mean, it transmits one directionally. Like you wouldn't be able to give it powers to listen to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like a old. You saw the van in the last episode. It's like a beater. There's no Sirius XM or there's no OnStar. But if there was, then I would say you could hear them. But that's not what's in that thing.
okay.
Okay.
I
Anybody
shoot.
else
I
with?
shoot the vehicle.
Okay. And Brian, you gonna do the same thing, or you now that you see Cypher taking out his vengeance on it?
If Cypher started to shoot, um, I guess I will
And remember, Dragon Lady is
take a
perched
shot
on
at
the
the
top of this
tires.
thing. Because you shoot the tires out, I'm just gonna say you get them. Um, Cypher, Dragon Lady's on the top of this thing. Are you trying to avoid where are you shooting at the back two doors of it or something, or the
Yeah,
side of it, or?
yeah. Shoot off the back of the van, and
Okay,
I'm
so
yelling
you
at them,
definitely.
calling them murderers.
Oh god, you can see inside the van, and even Dragon Lady, you're standing on top, so you hear them screaming at each other. What in the world? It's never happened before. What is this? We're exiting from the portal. We didn't see anything. They're just like screaming. One of them starts blaming the other one. What did you drive over? What happened here? Or that kind of thing. The tires are burst out. Um,
The
you're
the
on it.
the back of the van blows apart from a laser beam hitting it. Yeah.
Yes, it's like exploding out. Like they're just flipping out. Um,
All right.
what do you do, Dragon Lady?
She's gonna do the classic martial artist, either basically flipping in through either the open passenger window or smashing through the passenger windows, Deadpool style, and saying to the both of them, "Hello, boys."
You also have a big opening in the back of the van now from Cypher if you want to just leap through it.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that if that is easier.
Yeah, that's great. So you say that, and you would notice that there's lots of computer uh, uh, like monitoring equipment, which is interesting. It's in the back of the van, so I guess Cypher could have heard that too. Um, uh, it's all busted up now because it's been exploded by Cypher's um, thing. You say that to them, and you can tell immediately that they are intimidated. They are not warriors. They are not, they may not even be armed. They seem like technicians. They both have gray hair. Um, yeah,
I
Einstein's.
suggest you. I suggest you stop fan, and you stop fan. Otherwise, things will be very hot for you.
they have stopped the van and they've got their hands up, like they both put their hands up, like naively, like what? We surrender. We surrender.
Nice. All right. Then I will. Yep. Then I will. Kind of grab. I'll grab both of them and sort of parry slash drag them on over to Hotshot and Cypher. You have
Yeah,
some
they
you have some explaining to do to my friends.
So,
they
so Dragon Lady is pushing them, or dragging them towards us, and I've got this laser rifle, and I'm looking at, say, the younger of the two of them, and he can see the laser light of the thing hitting him in the chest, and I'm going, "You murderers! I should kill you right now!"
they say we haven't killed anyone. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. They're just pleading with you. We we save people. We don't kill people.
You killed
Maybe you should go
Lindsay.
further. I don't know who Lindsay is, but we're on a mission. We're supposed to save a man right now. That's where we're going. We're supposed to save a man. We're going to save someone.
All right. With my interrogation and things like that, do I think they're telling the truth?
Maybe roll it. Let's see if you get it.
All right. I'll do interrogation.
Skills
Bang, bang,
skills
bang.
matter.
Ask questions later. Bang, 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 bang.
All right. And I guess they can make a reputation roll on me. It's 11 or less for them. And if
Yeah, they probably wouldn't know you from Millenniums, and they would be sure.
yeah.
But
Well,
I
I
will.
did buy it as a global reputation. So
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I'll give that. Skills matter.
you put
Oh, I rolled the
skills,
wrong.
not skill.
Because we got skills.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Um, they are like, we know who you are. We would never lie to you. We have a mission, and you can tell that they're totally serious.
They are,
They,
they are telling
yeah.
And
they
totally
are telling
terrified. Yes.
they are telling the truth.
That
But
doesn't
Cypher's
make
already
them any less murderers.
Cypher's already killed him. He said it. Bang bang. Ask questions later. Okay, maybe make an ego roll, Cypher. See if
Sure.
you can contain yourself.
That's a 12 or less. Okay. So do you do that just as 12? Like skill 12?
Yeah,
Or okay.
skill 12. Yeah, that's all.
I succeeded by 2.
Okay, so you are as furious as you've ever been, but you are not out of your right mind. Right? If you want to not kill them, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Act so rashly. Yeah.
I actually have a strong code against killing.
Okay,
Nice.
so you are not going to. You've succeeded in your ego roll, so you're back within the logical mind of what. Oh my gosh, what do I do now?
However, I do have red flashing lights on my mask, so.
Oh,
Nice.
so,
Nice.
so they don't know that you're back in your right mind.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so Dragon Lady has brought these two helpless older men, hapless older men, to your feet. They are even maybe on their knees now, with their hands up,
What do you want?
repeating.
What do you want done to them? What what is their fate?
So that's I just put a picture of Cypher's mask, um, that they would be able to see. What is this mission? Who are you trying to save? I'm not sure I believe you.
Um, do you have? I'm gonna give it to you. It depends on how well. Do you have like an interrogation or anything like that?
Oh heavens, no!
Yeah, you're no. You're
I'm a scientist like them.
Nice. says, "All right, well, Dragon Lady says, I have much experience in interrogation. They are telling the truth.
Hot
Clearly,
shot. Oh, sorry.
clearly, whatever they did was an accident."
I don't
Hot shot.
believe
You're
it.
out in the.
Right.
You're out in the. Yeah, you're out in the wing. Hot shot. Are you? Are you? You blew up the tires. Are you going to try to get closer to them? Do you want to engage? Or are you staying from afar?
Yeah, I'll go over and take a look at their van and see if there's anything in the back.
Yeah, so when you get over there, you notice that there was computer tech in there, monitoring equipment, maybe even some of those devices that you use to listen from afar. Um, there is uh, high tech equipment. You want to do maybe a intelligence roll to see if you can understand. Do you have any science skills, or is just intelligence roll if you don't?
I don't have much other than systems operation
Oh,
to
roll that.
look on my
That would be cool.
phones.
Roll systems operations. That's probably the closest you can have on this one.
What is that? It's 12 or less.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
but I
Okay.
would know
Yeah.
something about the communication stuff, but nothing about all the regular, just general electric stuff.
Yeah, so I think the thing that I would give you from that role, from just a general knowledge, is there is an inordinate power source in the van, and it's got wires connected to like a lever, like a pull down lever. It's not electric chair style, but it's kind of that, you know, power source. Power source is totally deactivated now because of Cypher's blow up on the back of the thing. But you can see that there used to be something very high powered connected back there. That's what you see. Anything else you want to say or do before I go back to the others who are interrogating these two hapless individuals?
I think I'll try to look into whatever it was that was back there for a while the other two deal with the people.
Okay, if you
Or
want to make
whatever.
a couple of, I'll say over two skill rolls, you can just like, I'm very much of the mind that given time, superheroes can figure anything out. And if you've got a relevant skill, you can do it. So maybe a couple of skill rolls and see if you can succeed on both of your skill rolls. I'll give you a little bit more information about what you think it might have been. Okay? And if
Okay,
you'll just make those, I'll come back to you.
sure.
So, Dragon Lady, you've asked what do you want done with them, um, and you've explained that this was clearly an accident. Cypher, how do you respond to that?
So, oh, is Lizen with us as well, or no? Just
No,
the three
no,
of
I
us.
think you
Okay.
all just took the car. You all just took
Okay.
the car.
No problem. Um, so I turn my back on them and I talk to Peter about what these guys have done and things like that. And I'm talking to the robot, and the robot is flashing and doing a whole bunch of different lights and stuff. And Stevie, of course, is circling around them. Um, sorry, family just came in the door, and the dog is going crazy.
Give
Oh,
me a second.
Um, and so then I'll turn around and I'll say to Stevie, as much as I want to, Stevie, don't shoot them. At least
Mm.
until we find out what their stupid mission is. Who were you going to rescue?
They will say it freely, especially if you have the red eyes and everything, and the bead on them with the weapon. They were saying, uh, "We're we were going to the East Ridge neighborhood, south side of Denver, south side of Millennium City. We're they even give an address, 1224 um, um, Loudon Street. Officer Randolph lives in there. His house is about to be raided. We're going to save him. We're going to save him. Officer Randolph has to be saved."
And how long would it take us to get there? And can we get them and into our vehicle?
It would be. It would be a crowded ride. You could do it. Someone's going to be sitting in somebody's lap. Um, it's like a four door vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But you could. You want to?
Well, I
That's
mean, we've
awesome.
kind of destroyed their vehicle.
Hmm.
And how
Is
exactly were
there
you going to
any
rescue him? Two
Well,
science
you
nerds.
is there
you
any
asked that.
equipment from your old vehicle that you need?
We, we needed the whole van. We needed the whole thing. And at that point, maybe Hotshot kind of chimes out because you kind of have an idea. The tech is way beyond anything you've seen Hotshot before, but it's clearly it's got like some range to it. Maybe you understand it because of the way your comm systems work. You can tell that the electricity is connected to some ranged device that it communicates and maybe even sends kind of Tesla style some of that electricity to the ranged device. It has to be in proximity of the van, um, but that's basically what you would know. Some electricity that sends wirelessly to a ranged device within proximity of.
So it's a transmitter.
I think that's the best you. I don't know that you would understand the technology. So the best you know is that the thing transmits an inordinate amount of energy two ways, mind you, transmits and receives energy to a device at range within a proximity of the van.
Oh, like okay. So the hot shot's done looking at that, and we'll go back over and get into the vehicle.
So
So you're
do
going to force these guys into the vehicle with you?
so these guys they say that they need this equipment in order to rescue this guy?
Well, that was the way they were going to rescue him, of course.
And does he know he's going to be rescued by you?
No,
Mhm. What's the time
we
frame?
operate in. We have 27 minutes and 32 seconds to be able to arrive on the place in London Street, where Officer Randolph will be. If he survives even now, they're mad at you because you're throwing them off the mission.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. I can fix your machine. Shut up. So I go over to the machine and I will scan it. What kind of machine is it?
Yeah, and unless you want to roll it, this is your power. I'm
Yeah.
going to hand wave because you've bought a power. You clearly understand the purpose of the machine speaks to you. There's enough power in it. This
Yes, yeah,
is a.
yes, Randolph. I'm sorry that you have to work with these incompetent people. However, I can help you get better.
Oh,
So,
it's not called Randolph. That's the person I was supposed to save. But so this machine is a it matter materializes, dematerializes, and rematerializes. So it's like whatever ranged device it connects with, whatever's around that ranged device will dematerialize and rematerialize in the back of the van.
okay.
That's what the device does.
How do I roll my healing on the machine?
Oh
It's
yes, it's not dead entirely. Yes, you can actually heal it. Um, I'm glad to hand wave it to you since you've bought the power and we're not in combat.
okay.
Um, since you have healing, so tell us how that looks and works. Like what? How do you actually heal this thing?
Okay. So I go and I sit down and I start talking to um, this machine. So what's its name? Just pick a name. Stuart.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even have a real name. It's like digits.
Oh, H101.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It is not a virus.
That's such an impersonal name. I'm going to call you Stuart.
Good.
um,
The
and
machine appreciates being named.
and I put my hand on it, and then the nanites that are part of my armor flow out of the gloved hand and start to surround this machine, and then the where the laser had hit it, those sections heal up.
The guys, the old men look back, and their eyes get big. Um, and maybe the dragon lady, since you are holding them, you hear them mutter under their breaths. Well, that's great. Can you heal tires? And you clearly see what this thing is now. It's like a teleportation device.
Right. But they have to have it's like the DeLorean. They have to get it up to 88 miles an hour, right?
Well, no, they have to be in range. That they have to be close to the person, like within a couple of city blocks, kind of thing.
That is a useful. That is a very useful ability. They ask if you can fix tires.
No.
Oh, fix the tech all you want, but rubber, you got nothing for that.
Hmm. Can we?
I am not the
Uh,
rubber band man.
can we use any spare from vehicle we come in?
Well, they would have one spare. I don't know how many
Yeah,
tires Hot Shot shot out.
yeah. How many tires did you shoot out? I thought all
Just
four of them,
one.
or just two of them? Just one, of course, just one.
maybe,
Yeah, so
maybe,
there's a spare.
maybe he needs to take stress to make it just one.
No, that's cool. It's better for the story. They shot out a tire. There is a spare. Who replaces the spare? This is always important. Who actually does the work?
No mechanic. Dragon Lady shakes her head.
So you're not doing it. Who else? So the hot shot. Are you in for this? Would your character change a tire?
Yeah.
Okay, hotshot gets over there and changes the tire. Um, and now what are y'all gonna do?
So, so
The
we can't
guys
we
are
can't find the jack. So Cypher has a 30 strength.
Actually,
actually
Dragon Lady will assist as well because she has a 40 strength.
y'all pick up the car, stand with it underneath. Hotshot changes the tire quite easily, and you can maybe see periodic eye rolls and maybe disgust on their faces on the two gentlemen.
Discuss that we're
Okay,
fixing their
so
vehicle for them. Boy, they got a lot of nerve, these guys.
all the exhibits, all the powers you all are exhibiting, they just roll their eyes at it. So they are anxious to get to the Eastridge neighborhood and try to find this place and try to get Officer Randolph. Are you? What do you all do with that? Are you gonna intervene? Are you gonna go with? Are you gonna follow? Are you gonna let him go? What are you gonna
We're not going to let them go. I don't trust them.
We might as well come with them and assist them. Knows too what sorts of trouble they get into.
Sure.
do? Okay. Is anybody gonna take the car that Lysen lent you, or are you gonna just pile into the van? How are y'all gonna be?
Um, I will drive the car
Good.
Okay, hot
I
shot
and
I
follow
will
them.
ride. I will ride with these two. After all, rode with them before.
on top now inside.
Yeah.
Hot shot, are
I
you gonna
think
stay in the car?
Hotshot would leave one of the vehicles behind. So if she has to drive one of them, she'll drive one of them.
Well, so Cypher said he would drive the vehicle, the car that you all borrowed. Do you stay with Cypher in the vehicle and go, or are you going
No,
to go in the van?
I'll take the van.
Okay, so y'all are in the van together. You go to the place, and when you arrive at the Eastridge neighborhood, the London Street, you see destroyer soldiers converging on the house where Officer Randolph um, presumably lives.
Like how many?
It's a two units of four. There's
So
four on one side, four on the other side, and they are kind of like quietly giving the signals, "Go, go, go!" You know, you're coming in right as in the process where they are about to storm the house.
All right. Dragon Lady is just like
segment
you.
12.
Yeah, yeah. You, Dragon Lady's all like, you go rescue officer. I take, I fight, I cause distraction. And she, she pops open the door and eight steps of the heavenly dragon up into the air and flying kick at the nearest destroyer soldier.
Okay, and I'm gonna hand wave a lot because we're about to run out of time. But um, Hot Shot and Cypher, are you all going to engage the soldiers? These are normal soldiers, right? These are not supers. They have armor and stuff on, but not heavy armor. Um, what are you gonna do? Dragon Lady's clearly going after them and it's gonna kick some butt.
Okay.
What are y'all gonna do?
Um, Cypher will send Stevie off to help Dragon Lady. So
Okay,
actually,
that's
if
enough.
Dragon Lady takes one group of four, I'll get Stevie to go after the other group of four.
Nice.
Okay, Hot Shot, are you gonna go in and take some shots at these disorder soldiers as well?
Sure.
Okay, and Cypher, are you getting in the mix or are you staying from a distance?
I am staying with these two guys because I don't trust them.
Okay, so the way I'm gonna play it out is you all, Dragon Lady just kicks and punches and ooh la gets them all. The four, um, Hot Shot, maybe there's one soldier that's about to get the drop on Dragon Lady, and Hot Shot shoots it from behind before it takes it pulls its trigger or something like that. The Stevie goes after the other four and stuns them because he's got the stun only package. Just zap, 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 zap.
Exactly.
And these this group, two units of destroyer soldiers are just down. Um, are you going to accompany the two guys inside the house for Officer Randolph, Cypher?
Are they physically going to him?
Yep, they have to.
Yeah, I will go with them.
Okay. Um, are you taking any of your bots with you?
Um, I'm taking Peter, and I've got my own weaponry.
Okay, so you go into the house. You'll see Officer Randolph. They say some things to him. You hear it, and they say, Officer Randolph, we are with Division. We're here to bring you to safety. And he says, anything to get me out of the guy, the the targets of these guys. And so he reaches out his hand. They say a more convincing line to him, but they basically say we're with the Division. Um,
And he
and
obviously knows what division is.
no, he doesn't seem to recognize that whatsoever. But that's how they introduce themselves. We're here to bring you to safety. Come with us now. And he's obviously underdressed, so he reaches out his hands. The two gentlemen look at you and they say, if you're near us, you will be portaled and everything with you into this van. Is that what you want? You want to make it like an intelligence roll? Um,
Sure, I'll make the intelligence roll. Do 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 do. Where'd he go? Come on.
woo,
Succeeded by zero.
um, So you get the inclination that maybe it is this dematerialization, rematerialization that is what causes the deconstruction of any electrical thing.
Right. So I will definitely not be going with them.
Okay. So you step away, maybe Peter steps away, you bring them away. They portal out of the house and into the back of the van. Um, and they're going to make a go for it if they can, try to get away. Um,
I uh,
and
I have teleport as well, so I should be
okay, so
able.
you're going to try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to try to make you hit a moving target. They won't move fast enough. They portal in the back of the van. They're trying to get back to their seats. You portal back into the van as well.
So I'll
Um,
I'll I'll portal into the driver's seat. So were
yeah,
you going someplace?
yeah. So they're scared again. They're stuttering and sputtering, um, and they say, "We must return Officer Randolph to the division." And I'm going to end it there tonight because it's after the top of the hour.
And,
Excellent.
But
as soon as they say that, Dragon Lady says, "Who is Division?"
yeah, and that's the last like bubble of the comic book when the page ends. That's the end of the edition.
And
So
and it,
who
and
is
it says to be continued. Yes.
yeah? Who is the division?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
You blew
thank you,
out the
Brian.
tires. Yeah,
That was sweet. That was hot. In fact, that was hot.
that was hot.
I think that's
I
the
hope you
new
guys
expression,
enjoyed
huh?
it.
Yes, indeed
I'm
it is.
gonna I'm gonna create a session for this and then put a little journal out there if y'all want to share some journal articles on it. But thanks, you guys, for playing. It was a lot of fun.
In fact, I am presently working on a journal article. So how much XP do we get?
Oh, so storyline sessions are 4 XP because I think they're, to me, they're a pretty important moment. And Brian will give you some experience on that as well. We will, uh, and you're still under the threshold. And I feel like, Brian, I'll give you halves on that if you're okay with that. Because it really wasn't your storyline session, but you did shoot out some tires. So, um, and then you can get an additional experience point for a linked journal. Sound good, everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for participating, everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I just have to say I really enjoyed like playing Fire Emblem
When
Fates
uh,
on my Nintendo
when I get a
Switch.
chance, when I get this thing figured out, and I'll take a listen to it, make sure that it's good, and then I can forward it to you, Jason.
Notice, so
Oh, cool. Yeah.
when you're
And I
playing
think
the
you could
whole thing,
actually
you
add
start
it.
it
You
easy
can edit the
at
session,
the
this
start,
session
then